Each of us strives to be the best. We want to succeed, become better at our craft, improve our skills, and reach new heights. But why do we often feel uncertain, disappointed, or doubtful about ourselves? This feeling arises when we seek strength outside of ourselves. We compare ourselves to others, searching for validation through external achievements or approval. But what if I told you that true strength is not in external factors, but within us? Stoicism is a philosophy that teaches us not to seek strength in the external world, but to find it within our own state of mind. It's a well-known approach to life, formulated by great sages like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. They teach us that true greatness starts with accepting ourselves and controlling our reactions to the world around us. If you want to be the best, it's important to understand one simple truth. The greatest strength is not in defeating others, but in overcoming our own weaknesses and inner doubts. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and great philosopher, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." This is an incredibly profound thought that opens the path to self-awareness and inner harmony. Stoicism teaches us that how we react to external circumstances matters more than the circumstances themselves. And when we realize this, we gain true freedom and control over our lives. However, many may ask, how does this work? How can we change our attitude towards the world and begin to behave as if we are the best? The answer lies in 5 important truths of Stoicism, which will not only help you become stronger, but also bring you closer to the version of yourself you want to be. These principles are simple yet powerful. They will help you free yourself from external influences and find strength within yourself. One of these principles is believing in your own power. How often do we doubt our abilities, seeking external validation of our worth? Stoicism teaches that true strength begins with realizing that we have control over our thoughts and reactions. This is important because this is where the secret to achieving greatness in each of us lies. And this is what I want to talk to you about today. Prepare to learn to let go of what doesn't belong to you and focus only on what you can change, your inner world. It's not easy, but this is what will allow you to see yourself in a different light, take yourself to a new level, and ultimately behave as if you are the best. And soon, you will realize that each of us can be this way once we understand the core Stoic truths and learn to apply them in our lives. Point 1. Believe in your power. How often do we feel that our lives depend on external circumstances? Success, failure, joy, and disappointment seem so unpredictable, as if we are just passengers in our own lives. But what if I told you that the greatest strength in life is inner control? As Epictetus said, we cannot control events, but we can control our reactions to them. This is the first step to true greatness, realizing that we are not victims of circumstances, but masters of our thoughts and actions. Belief in your own power is not only believing that you can achieve great things, but also realizing that in any situation, you have a choice. This may seem obvious, but these simple truths are often the most powerful. We often look for complex solutions or overly complicate our situations, trying to change what we cannot. But in reality, it's much simpler than it seems. All it takes to begin is to acknowledge that we have control over our reactions. How often do we try to change other people or circumstances when we can only change our own reaction to them? One of the most vivid examples from the history of Stoicism is Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and great philosopher. At the peak of his power, he faced numerous difficulties: wars, betrayal, political intrigue. But he didn't seek external validation of his greatness, nor did he depend on what was happening around him. He understood that his true power lay in his ability to control his thoughts and emotions. In his meditations, There is a profound quote: "Nothing can harm a man unless he allows it." Belief in yourself, in your ability to be strong, begins with small steps. It doesn't mean that every day will be easy or that everything will go according to plan. On the contrary, the greatest challenges often come when we least expect them. But it is precisely at these moments, when everything seems against us, that we have the greatest opportunity to show our inner strength. How does it work? Every time you face difficulties, ask yourself, what can I control in this situation? How can I respond to it? This question will help shift your focus from what you can't change to what you can change, your reaction and your attitude. True strength is not a momentary impulse or external validation. It's a constant inner effort that requires patience, determination, and self-discipline. And even when it seems like everything is going wrong, it is precisely at these moments that your true greatness is formed. A true Stoic doesn't seek easy paths. He accepts each situation as an opportunity for growth. He understands that what matters most is not what happens to him, but how he reacts to it. If you want to start this journey, try practicing daily exercises in self-control. Every time you feel stressed or emotionally charged, stop for a moment, take 3 deep breaths, and ask yourself, how can I best respond to this? This is not just a technique, it's a true path to inner strength that will allow you to feel strong no matter what is happening around you. Believe in your ability to be the best, and then every day will become an opportunity to demonstrate your strength. Point 2. Accept what you can't change. Life often brings us situations that we cannot change. Perhaps you've lost a loved one, faced failure at work, or are dealing with an illness that can't be easily overcome. In these moments, we often feel that things aren't going as planned, and we try to control what is beyond our power. But Stoicism teaches us that there is only one way to find peace and inner harmony. Accept what we cannot change and learn how to respond to it properly. This principle is deeply connected with the philosophy of Epictetus, who said, "Do not fear what cannot be changed." We all face situations in which it's hard to accept reality, but it is precisely the ability to accept the situation without resistance that brings us peace. And this doesn't mean passively waiting for things to change, but rather accepting them as part of our life and looking for ways to act even in limited circumstances. Let's explore this through a simple example. Imagine you are facing a delay at work because of traffic or an unexpected rainstorm. Should you get angry about it? It probably won't change anything. Instead of getting frustrated, you can accept this situation as part of your day. Take some time to reflect, or even read a book. This is an example of a Stoic approach, not trying to change what cannot be changed, but instead focusing on how to use the time wisely. But why is it so important to accept what we cannot change? Not only does it help us maintain inner peace, but it also allows us to focus on what truly matters. Stoicism emphasizes that our emotions and reactions are what we can control. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power only over your mind and your actions." Instead of wasting energy trying to change the impossible, we should focus on how we can behave in the situation, how we respond, and how we accept it with dignity. Acceptance of what we cannot change allows us to live in harmony with the world around us. Often we suffer not from the events themselves, but from our attitudes toward them. If we do not learn to accept the uncertainty and limitations that are part of life, everything around us may seem hostile and unjust. However, when we learn to accept these circumstances, we discover within ourselves the strength not only to endure, but also to thrive in any situation. And here's another important step: understanding that what we can control is only how we respond to it. Suppose you are faced with a situation that cannot be changed. For example, an illness or unfavorable economic conditions. You can't change this instantly, but you can choose how to relate to it. This means you have the freedom not to suffer from circumstances that are beyond your control. Practical exercises can help in this process. One of the Stoic methods is to write a letter to yourself in which you describe what you fear or feel powerless against. Then ask yourself if the situation can be changed. If not, how can you best accept it and develop your inner strength? Another helpful method is to keep a journal where you reflect on what happened during the day and analyze whether there were moments when you tried to change what couldn't be changed. This will help you realize where you've been wasting energy fruitlessly and learn to accept more what's beyond your control in the future. Your inner freedom lies not in changing everything around you, but in accepting what you cannot change and growing despite it. This can become the foundation for your inner peace and strength, no matter the circumstances. Point 3. Be brave in your beliefs. Have you ever felt that your beliefs and inner principles put you in an uncomfortable position or even make you feel isolated? Often in life, we face situations where our attitudes towards certain issues or choices may conflict with others or societal norms. And at such moments, many of us may feel pressured and decide to compromise, yielding our beliefs. But Stoicism teaches us something else: to be brave in our beliefs, not to give in to external influence, and to stay true to our principles. How often do you give in to doubt because of what others think of you? How often do you change your behavior to meet the expectations of others, even if it contradicts your own beliefs? Stoics, especially Seneca, emphasized the importance of inner stability. Seneca said, "It doesn't matter how others judge us. It matters how we judge ourselves." This thought is the foundation of Stoic philosophy because our inner strength and ability to act depend solely on our own assessment. Many people live their lives trying to meet societal standards or other people's expectations instead of following their own beliefs. This approach can lead to stress, disappointment, and even a sense of losing one's identity. Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies not in seeking approval from others, but in acting according to our internal beliefs and not letting others' opinions define our actions. True courage lies in walking your own path even when it's difficult. This means that you must be willing to stand up for your principles even if it leads to conflict or rejection from others. But this doesn't mean being stubborn or insensitive to others' opinions. Stoicism emphasizes acting with wisdom, not stubbornness. It means being confident in your beliefs, but also open to self-improvement and change when new circumstances demand a shift in perspective. How can you practice courage in your beliefs? One way is to ask yourself every day, am I staying true to my principles in this situation? If the answer is no, try to figure out why and how you can get back on track. This isn't always easy, but it's the only way to inner freedom. When you follow your beliefs, it allows you to experience deep inner peace even in difficult situations, because you know you are acting according to your moral principles. Moreover, it's important to remember that bravery in your beliefs doesn't mean avoiding constructive criticism. It means being open to recognizing when your beliefs need refinement or revision. You shouldn't stubbornly cling to your position if it no longer aligns with your experience or reality. But it also means you should not compromise your principles under pressure from others if they contradict your deeply held beliefs. Another way to practice courage is to act even when fear or uncertainty tries to stop you. The fear of judgment from others or the fear of failure often holds us back from achieving great things. But Stoicism teaches us that fear should not be an obstacle. It's simply a signal to overcome our own barriers. Sometimes it's important to act despite fear because only through action can we truly understand who we are and what we're capable of. Instead of looking for external validation, start by constantly asking yourself whether your actions align with your beliefs. This will help you find the inner strength to act independently of what others think. Be ready to stand by your truth and, if necessary, pay the price for it, because only then will you feel truly free. Practical steps. Write down moments in a notebook when you had to defend your beliefs, or when you compromised them. Analyze what led you to this and what you can do to be braver next time. These notes will help you understand yourself and your motivations better, and will allow you to learn to act in line with your own principles, even if it's difficult. Point 4. Control over emotions. One of the greatest challenges we face in life is our emotions. Every day we experience various emotional upheavals: joy, anger, sorrow, fear, anxiety. And this is natural because emotions are part of human nature. However, Stoicism teaches us that our emotions should not control our lives. This is a profound idea that can be difficult to implement, but it forms the foundation of true inner strength. Stoics, particularly Seneca, argued that the emotions we feel are not something we can fully control, but we can control how we react to them. Each of us will encounter emotions, but true wisdom comes when we learn to maintain calm, even when emotions peak. This is the goal of Stoicism, not to suppress emotions, but to learn to deal with them in such a way that they don't dominate us. As Seneca said, "No one can make you angry without your consent." But why is it important to control emotions? Imagine that you are in a situation where someone offends, irritates, or provokes you. Your emotions begin to overwhelm you. Anger or sadness arises. What happens next? If we allow emotions to take control, they will start to dictate our actions. As a result, you may say or do something that you'll later regret, and this could lead to negative consequences in your relationships, career, or personal life. But if you learn to pause and take responsibility for your reactions, you can change the outcome of the situation. Stoics understood that emotions are signals, not commands to act. When you feel a strong emotion, instead of reacting immediately, Stoicism encourages you to take a pause. This might be just a few seconds or several deep breaths. The technique of pausing allows you to switch your mind and view the situation not emotionally, but from a rational perspective. It's important to remember that emotions are not your true essence. They are just temporary reactions to events happening around you. One of the essential principles of Stoicism is accepting that we cannot control the external world, but we can control how we react to it. Your emotions are also part of the external world, but they do not define you. As Epictetus said, "What happens to you matters less than how you react to it." When you learn to distinguish where your emotions end and your awareness begins, you start to realize that you have the ability to control your reactions. This allows you to remain calm even in the most difficult situations. So what practically helps in controlling emotions? Here are some methods you can apply daily. Breathing exercises. When you feel emotions starting to overwhelm you, try taking 3 deep breaths. This will help you regain control over your mind and lower your stress levels. Micro pause. Every time you feel strong emotions, stop for a moment. Ask yourself, what can I do in this situation to remain calm and act with reason? This will help you calm down and find a more rational approach to solving the problem. Writing your thoughts down. At the end of the day, write down your emotions. Make a list of what irritated or saddened you. By analyzing this, you can identify patterns in your reactions and work on improving them. Meditation. Developing self-awareness through meditation can help reduce emotional reactions to stressful situations. Over time, this will help you achieve greater inner balance. Stoic practice in controlling emotions also involves understanding that our emotions are temporary states that change. Your reaction to a situation is what matters. Accepting and controlling your emotions is the key to maintaining calm and staying resilient in any circumstances. Remember, you are not a slave to your emotions. You are their master, and you have the power to choose how to react to them. Point 5. Enhancing self-awareness. One of the most powerful tools for developing inner strength and achieving the best version of yourself is enhancing self-awareness. Stoicism teaches us that in order to be our best, we must start with a deep understanding of ourselves. Without this understanding, it is impossible to know exactly what our strengths are and what needs improvement. As Socrates said, "Know thyself." This is not just a phrase. It is a call to action, to constant reflection and self-analysis. Without self-awareness, we cannot begin the path of self-improvement. Enhancing self-awareness is not just about understanding your thoughts and feelings. It is a deep understanding of your actions, reactions, decisions, and beliefs. Often we don't pay attention to how our automatic reactions or thoughtless actions can affect our lives. Stoicism teaches us to be mindful of every moment, realizing that each of our choices shapes our future. Self-awareness starts with a simple question: why do I react the way I react? This question allows us to understand the root of our emotions and actions. Often our emotions and reactions are not a result of actual events, but a result of our beliefs, expectations, or fears. This helps us see that in reality, we are not victims of situations, but rather the outcome of our own decisions and beliefs. The ability to track our emotions and thoughts is the first step to becoming the master of our behavior, instead of being controlled by external circumstances. But why is this so important in becoming the best? Developing self-awareness allows us to make conscious decisions rather than living by habit or automatic patterns. When we are more self-aware, we can recognize our weaknesses and begin to work on eliminating them. For example, perhaps you notice that you often react to stress with aggression or anger. Instead of reacting automatically, stop and ask yourself, why do I feel anger? What beliefs and expectations led to this? This allows you not only to understand what happened, but also to change your reaction in the future. Enhancing self-awareness also means being able to evaluate your actions and reflect on them. Every time after a difficult situation, ask yourself, how could I have acted differently? This is not self-criticism, but a way of learning from our mistakes. It provides an opportunity to grow and improve, because through reflection, we become aware of our actions and can correct them in the future. Another important aspect of self-awareness is the ability to understand your weaknesses and accept them without judgment. We all have flaws, and that is okay. Stoicism teaches us to accept our flaws and work on them without regretting or condemning ourselves for them. When you accept your weaknesses and work on overcoming them, you create an environment for personal growth. Practical steps for enhancing self-awareness. Daily journaling. Write down your thoughts, emotions, and reactions to events that happened. This will help you see patterns in your behavioral reactions and understand where you can improve yourself. Asking yourself questions. After each important situation, ask yourself, why did I react this way? And why is this important to me? This will help you better understand what drives your actions. Meditation and mindfulness. Practice meditation or mindfulness techniques to calm your mind and focus on your inner experiences. This will help you better understand your emotions and control them. Self-analysis. To constantly enhance your self-awareness, regularly analyze your actions. Ask yourself, were there situations where I wasn't at my best? What can I do to change that? Enhancing self-awareness is not only the foundation for personal development, but also the key to becoming the best version of yourself. It allows us to remain calm in difficult situations make conscious decisions, and act in line with our principles. Without self-awareness, we cannot understand our true desires and goals, and therefore cannot develop as we wish. It is like the foundation for building your personality. The stronger this foundation is, the more stable your life stance will be. Today, we delved into Stoic principles that help not only develop inner strength, but also find true greatness within ourselves. You've learned that true control begins with your ability to manage your thoughts, emotions, and reactions. Belief in your power, acceptance of what you can't change, courage in your beliefs, control over emotions, and constant enhancement of self-awareness. These are the 5 steps that will lead you to your best self. But remember, Stoicism is not a one-time theory or set of ideals. It is a path you choose every day when you wake up and decide how to react to what life brings. Stoicism is a constant process of improvement and acceptance of yourself, even when the world seems unpredictable or unfair. Take the first step today. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, can I better control my reactions? If I accept what I cannot change, how will this change my life? These questions are the key to inner freedom and peace. I'm grateful that you've shared this journey with us. Remember that your beliefs and reactions define your reality, and only you can control your life. Keep learning, keep growing, and don't be afraid to become the best version of yourself. As Marcus Aurelius said, be who you are and nothing can stop you. Your path to greatness begins here and now.